All right, so we are live.
We're live.
We are
Yes.
live in color.
Yes,
Everybody,
finally live.
this is Jason, our good friend Jason. That actually, I think Jason. First of all, tell the people how old you are.
I am 15
He
years
is
old.
15 years old.
It's half my age.
Yeah, right. He's half our age. 15-year-old reseller. I just want to take some time, Jason, to say hi to everybody and the people and everybody in the chat right now.
Awesome.
Glad to see everybody. I see a lot of familiar faces, like our boy Reseller King. He says, "Hello, guys. Good to see ya."
What's up?
I'm gonna
Hello,
do
Reseller King.
Reseller King. Yeah, guys. If you guys have not already checked out Jason's channel, I can't talk today, Dustin.
Yeah,
Might be an issue. You may need to hold me down, bro. So his YouTube channel is actually down in the description. So make sure that you guys subscribe to his channel. He has some great content on there. And I love your energy in your videos, Jason. First of all,
Well, thank you.
and surprisingly enough, Jason, the way that I found you was not through Instagram. It was actually through TikTok.
Really?
Yes, through TikTok. And I started a TikTok channel for the Nashville Flippers, and I've kind of I don't know, I haven't put too much content on there anymore. We need to do better on that.
That's the next big thing.
That's the next big thing, according
Absolutely.
to our Gary V.
Gary V.
Is
Yep.
That's why I got on there.
Fantastic. So let's continue to say hi to the people in the chat. We see our good friend Tiffany from Eat Sleep Amazon says, "Hello, Nashville Flippers. Good to see you, Tiffany. I'm glad that you happen to jump on. We appreciate you." Our good friend Glenn.
So Swamp Picker.
Swamp Picker. Good to see you, man.
I've seen Swamp Picker before.
Yeah, Swamp
community.
Picker. We actually got to meet him at the Nashville meetup. When was that? August? I think it was in August.
No, was it
end of September?
Yeah, I think it was like in September.
Okay, cool. End of September. And one of our moderators on the channel, our boy Chris from Thrift BCQ. Good evening, everybody. He says, "Good to see you, Chris." And then we have, did I skip some comments? Yeah, I did. We have Family Flips. Good to see you, Family Flips. Family Flips is that's also another great YouTube channel where they buy pallets and stuff like that and liquidation. So they have a lot of really great content on there that for learning for people that want to get into that kind of stuff. So that's a really good channel. Chase Miller, good to see you, Chase. And my wife, Brittany. Brittany needs to really change her name on there because her last name is actually different.
Yeah, it is.
So, yeah, she's my wife, so it's not Tran anymore. But anyways, so definitely a sub. Thank you, Reseller King. If you haven't subbed to our channel and you happen to stumble across, we really appreciate you guys hitting that subscribe button, and make sure to smash the like button so it brings us up in the algorithm of YouTube.
Absolutely.
Trying to reach that 500 subscribers.
Yeah, we're trying to reach 500 subscribers. We're really close. We're going to do a live stream, hopefully, and this is breaking news.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, 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 dun. We want to have my wife and Dustin's wife, my sister, on a live stream together, so you guys can ask them questions about
On their side of the story.
on their side of the reseller life on a wife perspective. So that's going to be super exciting to do that. But we have to reach that 500 subscriber mark. So hopefully you guys can tell your mamas, your daddies,
your grandparents,
your granddaddies,
Everybody.
everybody,
your kids.
your kids, everybody on there. So make sure you subscribe. We have Lisa. Woohoo! Entrepreneurs rock. Is that your
Absolutely.
mom?
Yes, it is.
Oh, fantastic! Good to see you, Lisa. You have a wonderful young man there down there in Georgia. So we have my sister-in-law, Courtney White. Good to see you, Courtney. And we have this is new one, Carl. What does that say? Staldern? I don't know how to pronounce that. Authentic Life Now. Looking forward to this.
Sure.
You better get Jason You better get it, Jason. Do you know, how do you say it? Is that one of your kinfolk there, Jason?
Yeah, I know them from around the community.
Oh, fantastic. Good to see you. Make sure you subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Like Thrift Beast says. Thank you so much. And our girl Lisa says, Jason taught B how to do all of this.
She probably meant me.
Yeah. So it's all right. I do typos all the time. And family says video retention is extremely important with the algorithm for sure.
It's all about the algorithm.
It's all about
everywhere.
that algorithm
really is.
everywhere. So stick around, guys. And Tiffany says, I'm going to share this out on social media. We appreciate that, Tiffany. We appreciate that so much. You're one of our favorite subscribers. All of our subscribers are one of our favorite subscribers. All of them. Each and every one of you guys. And Jason is one of our new friends in this reseller community. Yep. Jason, I know that everybody in the chat, they're all good friends of ours. And make sure that everybody in the chat, make sure you subscribe to Jason's channel just because he's just, I love what you're doing, Jason. Yep. Your videos are so inspiring to different people, especially people your age. So I want to ask you the first question is, tell me your origin story. How did you get started in this reselling life? We would love to know that.
Okay, so it all started when my mom met my dad. No, I'm just kidding. So I was basically trying to learn how to make money in all these different ways. I ended up getting involved in Bitcoin. I tried to become a digital marketer, and it ended up being my dad pushing me toward reselling because he noticed that you could get things for cheap at yard sales that were worth a lot of money. So he took me to my first estate sale in August of 2018, and then it all started from there.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, you said that you wanted to be, you got involved in Bitcoin and other things like that. What even makes a 15-year-old even want to go into that path and not just like sitting in the basement, like playing Fortnite all day and scrolling through TikToks?
I don't know what I was doing at 15.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's what I did beforehand. I used to play Minecraft like all the time.
Yeah.
But I think it was just this realization that eventually I have to make money. So I had to start finding ways to do that.
Okay. Now, what made you want to, like, you just wanted to, like, extra spending money, or you just didn't want to, like, work at Chick-fil-A or Wendy's or stuff like that? Because it sounds like you have like a entrepreneur mentality. I don't know if you get that from your parents or maybe somebody else, or where does that mindset come from?
I think it definitely comes from my parents because they were both business owners, or at least helped with starting businesses. So they definitely had that mindset, and it is noticeable that it went down to me. So that's where that desire came from.
That's awesome. It looks like you got some amazing parents. Shout out to your mother. I'm looking for her name. Shout out to Lisa. We appreciate you, Lisa, and your dad, whatever your daddy's name is. So we don't know that right now. So for sure. So how old were you when you wanted to, your first garage sale that your dad took you to, and then you really wanted to do this? Like, were you 15? Are you just now getting started, or were you like 14 going into 15, early 15? Like, tell us a little bit about that.
I was actually 13 years old, about to turn 14, but I wasn't really serious until about earlier this year when I was 14. And the reason being is I wasn't making that many sales, so I wasn't very motivated. But once I started selling like 2 things every week, 3 things every week, that's when I started picking up the momentum and going to more yard sales and then growing from there.
That's awesome. That's great. I love that. Now, Jarhead the entrepreneur, our good friend, he says, smack that like button. Make sure to smack that like button. And he says, Swan Picker says he's 6 away from 200. So guys, let's get him there. Let's make a goal for this video and get Jason up to 200 subscribers.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
This guy is up and coming.
Yep.
I love what he's doing. And everybody in the chat, Jason, if you ever have any kind of questions for any one of us, you know, we've been doing it for a little bit, and we would love to answer those questions for you. I know we're in an awesome community of resellers. We're real close, all of us. And we would love to help you out in any way that possible, just to help you reach those goals that you may have, personal goals. So next question that we have for you, Jason, is what platforms do you like to sell on?
So the platform that I started selling on was eBay. And then I've retained that, and I started also selling on Facebook once I convinced my mom that people weren't going to kidnap me. But also, I've been experimenting with Shopify and all of that type of stuff. I was just watching a lot of informational videos, I just kept learning about new stuff. And I also attempted to go into Amazon, but eventually I considered it a little bit too complex at the time for what I needed to do.
For sure.
So I stuck with eBay and Facebook.
Yeah, those are great platforms to sell on, especially Facebook right now, because you're not paying that 10% and then that 3%, and you don't have to ship anything out, But yeah, Amazon is really complex. There's a lot of intricacies on that. A good person to look for advice on that. And if you have I guess you do have Facebook because you're doing Facebook Marketplace. Is Tiffany from Eat Sleep Amazon has a great Facebook group that shares knowledge on how to do stuff on Amazon. So if Tiffany, if you want to drop your Facebook group link, just so everybody knows what it is, and she's amazing. She has great knowledge on that. So let's say a couple more people have entered the chat. And if you hear hollering and whooping, that is actually Dustin's son over there off camera playing he may be the youngest of all the entrepreneurs, flippers. He's over here giggling and laughing at us. So he just turned 1 year old, and he just learned how to walk. So he's running around everywhere.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So my brother-in-law, Adrian Weiss, says, "What's up, bro? Good to see you, Adrian. I'm glad you got to jump on." And Lisa actually says that once he hit $1,000 in 2 weeks, he was hooked. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Jason? Like, what kind of items were you selling to hit that $1,000 mark on eBay? I'm guessing it's eBay.
Yes, it's eBay. Basically what I do is I just scan everything I see at estate sales. And there was one thing I scanned at an estate sale. It was a facial tanner. It was about this big, and it must have been from like the 80s or 90s, but I looked it up and it was selling for about $60-$70 on eBay. And my mom was 100% convinced that it would not sell. And then I proved her wrong a week later when it was bid up on an auction to about $80.
So you actually hit it with the auction instead of the buy now?
That's crazy.
Yes.
That's awesome. I've never done any auctions. Have you, Dustin?
I've done one.
You done one?
Yeah.
How did it turn out?
It was on a Scotty Cameron putter I used to have, and it did pretty well.
Oh, that's right.
I sold it for almost close to $200.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I bought it for $100 when I first got it, so I ended up getting a new putter. So I was like, I'm gonna put this thing up on auction, see what happens.
For sure. Yeah, so when you scan that item, I know that Gary Vee really emphasizes, looking at the sold listings. Did you know to do that, or is that something that you kind of stumbled upon?
Yes, I did look to see that because when my dad took me to my first estate sale, he had a vague recollection of there being a sold category. So I went ahead and looked it up on my phone, and I found that there was, and I saw, I can see how often this item is selling. So I just used that filter.
That's awesome. And you heard about this from Gary Vee. How did you get into Gary Vee?
Gary Vee actually started with my mom. She was really into him on YouTube, just listening to a bunch of his videos, and she got me into it. So I basically just listened to him to focus while I'm listing my stuff and shipping my items. So I learned a lot at the same time.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is where I got that.
I think we all kind of do that, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, we all kind of like put them on in the background while we're like listing or shipping or doing things. I know a lot of the new people that have started reselling, like Chris got into it because of Gary Vee, and our boy Paulo from Forehead Hustler got into it, and I think Thrift Store Gold actually got into it because of Gary Vee. And I think we need to make like a Facebook group called like Gary's Kids or something like that.
That'd be great.
So that we all got into it. So I just We got a lot of stuff in the
A
chat.
lot.
We have everybody. Our boy Thrift Beast dropped Jason's YouTube link down there, so make sure you subscribe to his page. It looks like Bluegrass Picker just subscribed.
There you go.
Awesome.
And, for sure. Tiffany says, "This is awesome. I appreciate you, Tiffany. Kids are the future."
It's true.
I believe.
Yeah.
Who was the singer? Whitney Houston, or who was that?
Hmm.
I believe the children are the future.
I don't think I've heard
I
that.
can't sing too much because then we'll get
Sidetrack.
we'll get like one of those things that we
Oh, those
can't.
copyright.
You know,
gotcha.
Yeah. Besides, you don't want me singing. Jason, my wife wants to know, what's your favorite food?
Oh.
Nachos.
Nachos.
Yes. My nachos. I don't like the restaurant
this
nachos.
guy. This guy. That's funny. No, you like beef nachos or like chicken nachos, like fajita nachos? Like what kind of nachos?
Really, just any type. It's like I put a layer of chips, and then whatever the main entree I call it is like chicken or beef, and then I just put salsa and then cheese on top.
Ooh, that sounds
There you
good.
go.
You're making me hungry. I haven't
I
had
know.
dinner.
I could go
So
for
I
some
might have
nachos
to
now.
eat some nachos for sure. So
Awesome.
eat sleep. Amazon Tiffany says, "Oh, thank you guys so much at the Nashville Flippers. I shared your live on Facebook group."
Sweet.
So yeah, thank you, Tiffany, for doing that.
Awesome.
And let's see, this is actually Tiffany's Facebook group. So if anybody's in the chat that wants to know more about Amazon, make sure to click on that. And she has some absolutely awesome stuff to, how to learn how to get ungated on certain items, certain brands, things like that. So pretty cool, pretty cool. Oh, congratulations, Jason. You hit 200.
Yeah.
Hey, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
We'll get you there. We'll get you there. Oh, our boy Landshark Picker says, Good evening, everybody. I think Landshark said he was from Mississippi. Is that right, Landshark? Because he's got an Ole Miss logo.
Ooh, hotty toddy.
Hotty toddy.
Not a fan.
Are you a Georgia Bulldogs fan? Or are you a Georgia Tech fan, Jason?
Bulldogs fan. Yeah, I usually root for them when it comes to football games.
Football
When
game?
it comes to like choosing between which team, I always go with the team that I live with.
Awesome.
There you go.
I did want to ask, when did you guys start selling?
When would we start selling?
Mhm.
I know we started our YouTube channel March of last year.
Yep.
Because that's when our first video came out. But before that, I think it was a good year before we actually
Before that. Well,
a good year before our YouTube channel.
okay.
So I would say almost.
I'm
When
coming
did
up
we
on 2
start?
years. I'm coming December. My first sales were December 2017.
December of
On eBay,
2017, and
yeah.
I was probably started 6 months before that.
Yep.
And then I saw how, like you were saying, Jason, how good and how not. You still have to do the work, but how easy it was to do it. I got my first person to kind of get into it was Dustin. I was like, hey man, you got to do this. It's really easy to do, and you can make this extra income. And then
Super easy.
And then from there, we decided that we wanted to share it to everybody, and we started a YouTube channel. So one of the things that we wanted to do with our YouTube channel is that anybody that may be struggling with, not being able to pay their bills on time, or just making a little extra money to take their family out to dinner, or have some fun money, is that we wanted to do that in a really entertaining way on YouTube. So that's why we wanted to do our YouTube channel, and we started doing these interviews so we can share different perspectives to our viewers on how they got into it. And that's where you came in, Jason. And when I saw you on TikTok, and I said, man, this guy's 15, he's killing it. And I was super excited that you wanted to do this. And thank you so much, Jason, again.
My pleasure.
And guys, anybody in the chat, if you guys have any questions for Jason, make sure to put it down in the comments, and we will make sure to ask Jason that. So anyways, our next question, Jason, is that what you already asked what platforms you sell on. So you're sourcing. Do you just do garage sales, or do you like to go into do you do some retail arbitrage? Or I saw a video actually where you bought a pallet of stuff. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. So tell us about how do you source? Where do you get your goods to flip on eBay?
Mm-hmm.
And then tell us about your pallet experience, because
We've been scared.
We've been a little
Yeah.
a little scared because we don't want to be left over with a bunch of junk that can't sell.
Mhm.
So we want a perspective from someone that's been doing it or that did it before. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Is it something that we need to try? Because as of right now, we got a pretty good connection on how to get a good pallet. So Jason, please inform us.
Okay, I'll start right off the bat with the pallets. It really depends on your source. You can get pallets of stuff that have already been cherry picked and picked through by different companies, and then you get the trash that's left over. Your goal is to find the pallet that has not been picked out the most. So with mine, I think I was pretty lucky because I was able to find the warehouse on OfferUp, and I went there and I ended up buying some small products. I didn't end up buying a whole pallet, but I bought some small products for about $5 each, and I sold them for $25. And at that point, I was hooked on the warehouse itself. So that's when I started seriously considering the pallets. And when I bought the pallet, you're correct. There is some trash in it because whatever they don't sell on the floor as individual items, they put in the pallet. So I did get some trash items, but at the same time, I got some gold or just stuff that sells really well. For example, I got a whole box of these things called back blades, which is basically a razor that you can reach back and shave the back hairs on your back.
What? That's crazy.
Yes, I got about 70 of those, and they're worth about $15 each. So, and I also got like a bunch of dash cams. I got a whole sink in my pallet, a whole sink insert. But it really just depends on what you get. I know with my company or the company I bought from, they didn't let me look inside the pallet or disrupt the saran wrap. So really, it's just a guess.
So off of that pallet, what would you say that did you make another, like what you wanted to make off of that pallet, or were would you buy another one or what?
I'm not sure I would buy another one purely because of the work that was involved. I have limited time and space in my house.
Yeah.
So when I was doing it, I noticed, hold on. I have to think about how I want to answer this question. Would I do it again? Probably not. Did I make my money on it? Yes, I did. I made about 100% profit. But I don't think I could have gone to a bunch of estate sales in that time and gotten my money back. But if you're looking to scale and get more items and end up with more listings, it's definitely awesome because the more listings you have, the more you sell. And the thing I like to say is anything sells on eBay no matter what. So basically it's just a time game.
Okay. So you're saying that the overall time that you spent going through the pallet, you might have lost money because you could have been going to a garage sales or estate sales and gotten maybe more profitable items.
Possibly. I mean, with me, it was just my first pallet, so I wasn't sure how to handle it. I had limited hands and space, so I had to figure that out, and that was a lot of time with the bins and stuff. So it just depends on how you handle the situation.
Okay. So would you say that you learned a lot doing so?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Good. That's good information for sure. Now, the majority of the stuff that you find to resell, do you get it from that warehouse that you buy stuff from, or do you go and get garage sales, retail arbitrage, anything like that?
I would say I get about 10% of my inventory from that warehouse, and then the rest of it is from estate sales and yard sales and stuff like that.
Awesome. All right. Bluegrass Picker says that Rakin hooked me to Reseller King. Love garage flips, Cincinnati Picker, part-time pickers, and Commonwealth Pickers. Now those are all YouTubers.
Yep.
So yeah, some of the big ones. So hopefully, Jason, you will be one of the big ones.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you.
You got a head start from everybody
for sure.
What is the coolest thing you've ever found to resell? Tiffany says.
That's a good question. I have to think about that. I'm not sure. I did find this really cool camera that was it was a film camera, so it had to be a couple decades old. And I bought it for about $5 and I could sell it for 100.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mhm.
Have you already sold it, or was that one of the coolest thing that you found?
It's just the coolest thing. I haven't sold it yet because I got it last weekend. So
Okay, cool. Now, Jason, real quick, what do your parents think about what you're doing here? Are they absolutely like 100% like, yeah, it's like, yeah, son, do what you need to do, like behind you, because it's only going to lead to like bigger and better things? Or is it like you should be like at home doing your homework so you can go to college or like get a real job, or like what do they think about you reselling?
I think they're absolutely supportive of it because they're just happy that I have a way to pay for college. That's what they're banking on, is that I pay for college with what I'm doing.
Yeah, for sure. And for sure. I know that when we were younger, that would have been a great way for us to do that while we're even in college, is to do that, on the weekends or whatever, in between classes or whatever. Which leads me to my next question, Jason, is that how do you manage your time between reselling part-time? I'm guessing you do it part-time or full-time, unless you have, reselling in school, family, all that good stuff.
So basically, when it comes to school, family, and stuff like that, and fun things like normal teenagers, I prioritize it like this. First, it comes school, and then I have this task list that I keep on my phone where I put different tasks for my business, like listing 3 items a day or shipping out my items. And then once I'm done with all of that and I'm happy with what I've done with the day, I move on to the fun stuff if I do. But it's always school first because that is like my full-time job.
Awesome. Now, where does that mentality come from? Like you making a list, checking it twice, make sure that you're doing what you need to do. Does it come from your parents, or does it come from like an outside source, maybe like a mentor or a family friend or a youth pastor or somebody that may like, or a coach that may distill that drive and that work ethic?
I think it definitely came from my parents. They are very organized. They keep a set schedule, especially my dad. He went through like years and years of experimenting with calendars and structures like that because he had to handle his time well in order to run his business. So he basically passed it on to me, so I didn't have to go through all of that pain and suffering of not having a calendar and task list and all of the stuff like that. So I basically just adopted it from him.
That's awesome.
That's great.
That's awesome. Those are some great parents. I know we had great parents, and they always back us up on whatever what we're doing. So I know Dustin has a little boy, and so when he's old enough, I'm sure Dustin will do the same.
I'm gonna get him on reselling really young.
Real young.
Because I wish I would have done this years ago. But it's like now it's so much easier with all the technology and stuff.
For sure.
Like when we were 15, it wasn't this big at all.
Yeah, like I know that when I was 18, my senior year in high school, I was 18 senior year, and that's when I got my first cell phone. And that was just a cell phone that could just make calls.
Yeah.
So there was no way that I was able to scan something and make sure it's selling, because eBay, I think, started in 1994 or 96. Anybody in the chat, let me know for sure what year they started. But I guess from there you would have to really know the knowledge of something that was,
couldn't just go to you can just go to a garage sale. Now you can just look it up on your phone while you're at the garage sale.
Exactly.
Then you just had to go and it's like, I think it might be worth something. Let me grab it. Or it could just be nothing at all.
And I think that's one of the things that really frustrates me about people that complain is that, they complain about not having any kind of money or not doing certain things, or maybe they're just, mismanaging their time or their finances, that they're complaining, but they're not doing anything about it. Because now we have so much technology at our disposal that there's no reason why anybody should be broke, especially in the United States, because we can do it. It's just that you have to have that mentality to do it.
Right.
Shout out to Nike. Right. So we're gonna go back to the chat for a little bit. And Swamp Baker has a great question. I think he meant to say, "What do your friends think about you reselling?" Which is a great question.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that you do have friends, Jason.
Yes, I do.
Everyone has friends. So what do they think? Do you have a girlfriend?
I do not.
He doesn't have a girlfriend. So what do your friends think about you reselling? Have you gotten any of your friends into reselling?
I've had a few here and there be remotely interested, but other than that, they don't think anything of it.
Mhm.
I think they just don't see how much it could change their lives, and frankly, I don't think they care. They just want to go home and play Fortnite.
Okay. Well, maybe down the road when they're trying to save up money for college and buy a car and all that good stuff.
Right.
Maybe you can convince them otherwise, Jason.
Right.
To
Yeah.
do so.
I'll welcome them with open arms.
That's right. I love that. So Lisa says, we love him making money. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now, do your parents give you like a set allowance for you to purchase stuff? Or like initially, did they give you some money for you to buy your goods to resell? Or was it something that you had and then you just kept using the money, make money, use that money to buy more stuff? Or how do you manage your finances to buy certain items, Jason?
I used the money I saved up from years past to start my reselling journey. And what I did from there is I just kind of split it up as I made sure I could reinvest into the company while giving myself a little bit of money at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Now, Reseller King wants to know, do your parents take you to the estate sales and garage sales?
Yes, they do. And now that I am 15 and I have a learner's permit, I'm taking them.
Oh, that's awesome. That's fantastic. And how do you research where to go to in your estate sales and garage sales?
So in the beginning, I would just look through the pictures on my phone,
Mm-hmm.
scroll through, and I would actually look up some of the items in the pictures because I would go on the first day and try to get whatever I saw in the pictures. But since school started, I have been going on Saturdays, so I usually don't go during the first day. So
Yeah.
since I'm not going during the first days of estate sales, I don't really pay attention to the pictures. I just go and then I look through, rummage around and see what I can get.
Yeah, that's good. Do your teachers know that you're doing this?
Kind of, but not really. I don't think they probably might have overheard something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
They heard rumblings?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Okay. Now, Reseller King wants to know, have you done any kind of eBay arbitrage?
Yes, I actually tried buying a box of Radio Shack products. I'm not sure where they came from, but I just know it was there. So I bought it for about $80, and I can say that it was probably one of my worst buys because I have yet to make like $20 on it. So
Oh man,
I didn't do much research on it. I was just kind of throwing my money at it and seeing what would happen. And my dad warned me, but I kind of ignored it. So
good
learning there.
You want to live and learn. Those are called learning tax.
We've all had those.
We've all had those, which kind of leads me to my next question, and that kind of like a segue to my next question. What kind of bumps in the road have you experienced reselling? Like, especially you being so young and not really having people around you that would do it like you're doing. Is that, are you doing your research on your own? What kind of bumps have you run into, like buying something that's not worth what you thought it was going to be, trying to get there, like shipping? We always have mistakes on those.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of mistakes have you made, and how have you gone through and try to learn from those mistakes, Jason?
Well, I've made the typical mistakes. I sold an item for a certain price, and I ended up paying more for shipping than it was actually worth. So I paid $20 for shipping, and I sold it for $18. So there's that type of mistake. And then I would buy items, and then I realized that I didn't do enough research, and they wouldn't sell at all. And then mainly my issues were my age. because obviously I'm under 18. I can't have my own bank account. I can't have a whole bunch of things. So I had to find a bunch of ways around that, which I didn't know before, because last year I made my own account without my parents, and I tried to call them and ask them to raise my limits so I could list more. And I made the biggest mistake of telling them my birthday, and they shut down my account.
Oh man.
So what I did is I set it up correctly with this account, and everything's good.
Oh, that's great. That's great learning experience. So do you have to be 18 to start selling on eBay?
Yes, you have to be 18 to have an account.
And have an account. Okay,
Gotcha.
cool. Awesome. Yeah, that's great info. I mean, I never read the fine print because I'm over the age of 18. So Reseller King says they actually started in 1996, the year that he got married. So happy marriage day.
Yeah.
Is that what you say? So I think, oh man, we got some great comments and great questions on here. Jason, Courtney White wants to know, Jason, since reselling isn't a subject in school, what's your favorite school subjects? And don't say lunch.
Maybe it should.
Don't say recess.
I think I'm gonna have to go with science or math. I just picked those topics up easily, and I've never bored in those classes. So.
Oh, that's great. That's fantastic. Now, once you're old enough to start applying for universities, Jason, what is there something like a major that is kind of interesting you right now that you kind of want to go into, or is it once you get through a little more through your education, is it going to shift to what different majors? Like right now, what would be something that you want to major in college?
Right now, I'm not sure the specific thing I want to major in, but I am 100% certain that it's going to be in the medical industry, whether it is for animals or surgery. It's just, I love that stuff. I could watch videos of surgeries all day.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
I was going to guess entrepreneurship.
But,
that's
well, you know that a lot of medical physicians, they have to start their own practice. And I'm sure you have to have a little bit of business knowledge to do that. You know what I mean? So I can see you having your own being a veterinarian and doing so, and maybe having, I don't know. Do you like big animals like horses and stuff like that? Or
I like all types of animals. I like
all types of animals,
and then I like the huge ones.
Okay, awesome. That's awesome.
That's pretty neat.
So, Thrift Beast, our boy Chris, he wants to know, what kind of items do you like to resell?
I like to sell anything with barcodes and anything that is brand new, because it's the easiest to list and has the least amount of liability. But out of everything, I do not sell clothes. Clothes are my El Diablo. I do not like
El Diablo, he said.
I do not like selling clothes because it's just, I never got into it.
Yeah.
I haven't had any luck with the ones I've gotten either.
I know that clothing is a very saturated market, especially on eBay, and it is kind of hard to sell clothes. I know that the people that I know, kind of like Drew from our good friend Drew from Profit Monsters. He has a great eye for vintage clothing that he finds at the Goodwill bins, and he does great reselling clothing. And I think you have to I know right now on eBay, vintage clothing sells really well. It's kind of like in right now, and it's the style. So that stuff sells really well. I know that Dustin, I'm a big professional wrestling fan. Yep. So T-shirts from the Attitude Era wrestling, they're going for over $100 on eBay, just because everybody wants that vintage look. Their favorite wrestler on.
Which one? Give an example.
I have a Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt that I bought off of eBay, maybe before I even started reselling. Yeah, I paid $15 for it. The same shirt in my size. Sold, I looked it up the other day because I was curious. Sold for $96, the same shirt, but I'm not going to sell it because I absolutely love that shirt. Yeah, and all the recent ones that I have, all the recent wrestling shirts, I'm keeping because
Oh,
down the road
for sure.
they're all going to be worth some
Yep.
money.
Oh yeah.
So
Awesome.
for sure. But clothing is a kind of a saturated area. But if you know clothing, and I think eBay it's hard to sell clothing, but different platforms like Poshmark is great to sell clothing. So have you dabbled in any kind of different platforms like Poshmark, Jason?
I attempted to create an account in Poshmark, but then once I got to trying to list something, I decided not to because I realized I could list it better on eBay, spend less time on it, therefore save the time for other products that needed my attention.
For sure. Awesome.
eBay is just one of those things. If it ain't broke, I mean,
yeah, if it ain't
Right.
broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
I know it is breaking though, because sometimes they do
Sometimes.
have some major glitches.
Yes, I've heard about those.
Yeah. But Reseller King wants to know, or he says that since he doesn't have a girlfriend, that's more money for him.
Right.
So,
Yes.
but
That's definitely a plus side to it.
yeah, for sure. Swampbreaker says that friends will change their minds once he has a cool car. Are you a car guy, Jason?
Yes, I like cars.
Okay. What's your dream vehicle?
I think it would be really cool to have a Jeep one day.
Oh, like a Jeep Wrangler?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we all want a Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah, who doesn't?
My cousin actually has a car dealership down in Atlanta.
Oh, what's the name of it?
The Motor Car Collection. Yeah, probably they're getting
getting big.
He sells like the higher end.
Oh, like the luxury cars.
Yes, the luxury end,
like the
Ferraris,
exotics,
Lambos.
Okay, shout out to the
Motor Car Collection.
The Motor Car
Collection.
Yeah, awesome.
I'll have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, DC Cell says, "What was the first thing Jason sold on eBay?" ?
Huh. Oh, okay. I remember this one. I actually, for like a month before I went to my first estate sale, I tried to find a way to make a fortune on Deal Dash, which is an auction company. So I spent all this time getting free bids from just placing one bid a day. And if you placed one bid a day, you would get a streak gift of a bunch of bids. So I saved up all of my bids and then I would bid on items. And I ended up winning like 2 plush toys, a dog bowl, and 2 of these fancy knives. And the plush toys ended up selling for like $15 each. And then the knives sold in like the hundreds. So those were the first things that I sold. I'm not sure which ones were first or which one was first, but those were the first 4 or 5 items that I sold.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. Tiffany says, thumbs up, everybody. Thank you, Tiffany, for dropping that. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button. We would appreciate it. And Reseller King says, have you bought anything from your friends to resell?
No, I have not, but I have sold some baseball cards to somebody before. I sold about 4 baseball cards for $25.
Where'd you get do you like collecting baseball cards?
No, I actually just tried it out at an estate sale. Somebody had a tin of baseball cards and I decided to buy it. And it was pretty good. I had a card in there that was worth about $70. So
that's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Paid for everything.
It's hard for me to believe that people still collect sports cards.
Right.
I never got into that, but people still do it.
I collected them when I was younger.
Yeah.
I wish I would have kept the ones I had though.
Really?
I can't remember which ones I had, but I had a whole binder full of them, like that much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was more of a dorky kid collecting the Pokemon
Yeah.
cards.
I had Pokemon cards too before they
there you go.
before they banned it in school.
Yeah. Darn those teachers.
They banned Pokemon cards in school?
Yeah.
Yeah, they banned them because we would play with them and not focus on our schoolwork.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they would ban them.
I know. That's what we were thinking.
Yeah. So Thrift with Steph says, hey guys, good to see you, Steph.
Welcome.
Welcome. And Lisa says he loves Goodwills and pawn shops.
Goodwills are awesome.
Yeah. What are some of the sweet finds that you found at the Goodwill and at the pawn shops? Because the pawn shops are a little trickier.
They are.
Because they also have to make their money. So the ROI isn't as good as you might think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes the pawn shop doesn't know what they have, and then you happen to find great stuff on just resell on eBay. So Jason, what are some of the great stuff that you found on both Goodwill and the pawn shops?
So pawn shops, the reason why I like them is, well, really just because of one pawn shop I went to. I bought like 4 Nintendo Switch games, and one of them sold in the car. And I didn't sell the other ones in the car because I couldn't list them fast enough.
Yeah.
So that basically hooked me. I haven't gone to many after that. But with Goodwills, they're just all around good. You can find things for $5 and sell them for 40 consistently. So at least where I am, I'm not sure where it is, how it is where you are, but that's just how it is in Atlanta, at least.
Cool. Well, we are in Nashville, in the Nashville area in Tennessee, and I've noticed that in a lot of the different YouTubers, the further down south that you get, I feel like you find better things at a better price. Because I know that Josh from Lot of Josh was saying that he had just moved. He lived in Georgia, and he had just moved to the northeast part of the United States. I think it might have been Maine or Massachusetts. Don't quote me on that. He was saying that the prices in thrift stores are so much higher where he is now than it was when he was in Georgia. Oh, really? So he has to make sure that he accounts for that when he's buying things.
I wonder why. Just because it's like,
I don't know.
Just a limited, I guess, availability for that.
I guess. So Swamp Picker, let us know what if things are cheaper down there in Louisiana at the bottom of the map.
The bottom. So
DC sells. That's hard to say for me. What types of items do you ask your parents for advice on selling?
Okay. So usually when I would ask my parents for advice regarding me selling on eBay, it would really be for, like, are these pictures good? How does this description look? Because obviously they have a bigger vocabulary than me and they have more experience. But I feel like when choosing the types of items I sell, I usually just rely on eBay's sold listings to decide that for me.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Always look at the comps.
It's all about the sold.
All about the sold. You got to see what the market is paying for. Now, Jason, my wife has a really random question. She says that, Jason, do you know when you were a baby in 2004, I graduated high school, and Usher Raymond released his Confessions album. Do you know who Usher is, and have you ever heard the song OMG?
Okay, I do know who Usher is. I'm not sure I've heard OMG in particular.
Okay, great song. If you ever want to dance, you got to listen to Usher.
Okay.
So, yeah, there you go. The comments are giving me, did I go too high? Here we go. Thrift Beast is dropping. Follow Jason on Instagram. Yeah, I also dropped Jason's Instagram on there, and I should have put your TikTok there, but I don't know how to. Do they have like a link? I don't know. I gotta do some more research on that.
I'm not sure. In my videos, I just say what my profile is, and people can.
Oh, okay, cool. Now, how is that, Jason? Have you noticed that you've had some cool engagement on there on TikTok, or do you think it's kind of a waste of time, or what do you think?
I don't think it's a waste of time per se, but I do think that people shouldn't spend all of their time on it, because you don't want to abandon things that are already working. But I do know that TikTok has a lot of potential for organic reach, which is what Gary Vee has been talking about for the past couple of months. With me, I've had a couple of videos that have gotten thousands of views. I think one of them actually had like 11,000 views. But
that's amazing.
Yeah, it is, right? But it seems like the engagement is sporadic. Like the video right after that, I got like 1 like on it, and nobody else saw it. I got like 3 views, but the video right before it got 11,000, and then the video right after that got 8,000.
What?
It's crazy. But now I'm not getting at nearly as many as I used to. So I think there's something going on with TikTok where you have to like post all the time, so you have more content out that can be seen.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Just like anything else, they got to make sure that you're relevant in their platform. So we got a LA Thrift Hunter on here. Good to see you, buddy. We want to get him an interview at some point. He's awesome. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. He does a lot of retail arbitrage. Goes to Ross, goes to Marshalls, goes to Burlington's. He finds great stuff all the time. He has a great Instagram too, so make sure you follow him on Instagram. So let's see. Thrift with Steph says, I've recently started trying to encourage my kids to find things they like to sell on eBay. Any tips on ways to get preteens to get more interested in entrepreneurship? It's a great question. Jason, do you want to dabble in that? And maybe like how did you just tell us, how did you want to get interested in, besides your parents? And have you noticed anything that you've been telling your friends and kind of like help them be more interested in it?
I think it would be all about getting them to understand that they can do much more than just play Fortnite, because at the moment, like I remember before I started reselling, it didn't really seem realistic for me to be making money like I am now, or just make any money at all. So just showing them that it's possible may be all that you need to push them into that direction.
Yeah, because not everybody can be Ninja.
Yeah. The Fortnite. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's trying to be professional Fortnite gamers, but there can only be a couple million of those.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So Pinta Pro, which is Adrian, our brother-in-law, Adrian, he says pawn shops are awesome. He said that he recently purchased a Blue Studio headphones for $20, and they were listed for $299.
Oh,
yeah, they're awesome. He showed them to me the other day. They're like stainless steel. They're super comfortable. The audio quality on them are fantastic. So yeah, like I was saying before, I don't think sometimes pawn shops don't know what
they don't know everything,
what they have. Yeah. So Eat Sleep Amazon said that a lot of Josh lives in New Jersey now.
Okay.
So great. I know New Jersey is an expensive state to live in. And we got our boy Cajun Reseller
what's up
in the house. Good to see you, Cajun. Glad you can stop by and say what's up. Reseller King has a great question. He says that, what is your favorite thing to sell?
My favorite thing to sell, I've been really happy with selling CDs, like sealed CDs from Goodwill, because they're so easy to list, easy to ship, and then
what is it?
The sealed CDs.
Yeah, sealed CDs.
Really?
Yes, you can just sift through all of the CDs at Goodwill. Just look for the sealed ones, because half the time that they're not sealed, they're not worth it.
Right.
So just look for the sealed ones, scan it on the app, or if there isn't a barcode, just search it up manually, and then look for the sold listings, and they're really easy to find. Also with sealed games at Goodwill or movies.
So would you say, like, what kind of CDs have you noticed that sell better than others besides sealed ones? Like a certain genre, a certain artist? Like, what have you noticed? It's like, oh, wow, like vintage rock music from the early 90s is selling way more than, let's say, pop music from the 70s.
I haven't really noticed many trends with that. I mean, it would be more of the obvious, like, is this person popular? Is the album popular? And then if so, is it saturated? Is the price inflated because there isn't enough in the market? It's really just a whole bunch of factors that contribute to the sold price. Okay,
awesome. Good knowledge there. Thrift Beast dropped LA Thrifters YouTube channel, so you guys make sure to check him out for sure. And
it's really engaging content.
Yes, very engaging. He's awesome. What are some of your favorite YouTubers, reselling YouTubers, besides us?
Yeah, absolutely. You know? Number one, I would have to go with Nashville Thrift.
There you go. Flippers. Great answer.
But I used to binge watch Rally Roots and Garage Flips.
Okay. For sure. I know that Rally Roots I would say that's like the gateway YouTube reselling videos. And Lonnie from Garage Flips, he's just blown up. You know, which I've never met Lonnie, but I'm sure he's a great guy. One day we will meet, and maybe one day we can do an interview with him if he wants to come on for sure.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So if you guys, we're getting down to the nitty gritty here. We want to make sure that we respect your time, Jason, and keep you like around an hour. And,
yeah, he's on the East Coast time.
Are you on the East Coast time, or are you on
the
Central time? Okay, for sure. So yeah, we appreciate you coming on. We're gonna answer a couple more questions. And if anybody else has a question in the chat that you want Jason to answer, that would be fantastic. Make sure to put it down there. What has been your biggest bust, Jason?
My biggest bust.
And reselling. That you thought you were going to make money on, and then you're like, man, this sucks. I should have never bought this. I bought 100 of these things, and they're not selling for anything.
Still sitting, just collecting that dust.
Let's see. So in terms of things that are just sitting, I would probably have to go with the pallet, because half the pallet was stuff that takes a bit longer to sell, or at least a couple months. I got like 100 of these bike phone holders, and I listed them at like $6.99, and I've only sold like 3. So that's probably one of my busts. And then, of course, there was that one sale where I paid like $21 for shipping on an $18 product. It's just the small things like that. But I wouldn't necessarily say I've had a huge bust.
Okay. Not bad.
Okay.
Just like little learning experiences there. Awesome. Now, what has been your biggest flip? What have you made your most money off of that you might have not thought you were going to make any money off of?
I think so. Percentage wise, my biggest flip would be something I got for free at a yard sale. I just walked up to somebody and I asked, "Hey, how much is this?" And they said free, and I took it and I sold it for $30.
Yeah,
free
that's
99.
so awesome.
Those are the best.
Those are amazing.
Yeah, that's why I get frustrated.
Yeah,
because people people have so much stuff, they're willing to give it away.
There's still people giving away stuff on Facebook Marketplace
all the time. So for sure. Reseller King says that he loves Rally Roots, loves Thrift Store Gold, and the Nashville Flippers. I love that.
We made the cut.
We made the cut, baby.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Chris says, make sure to subscribe if you guys haven't already subscribed to our channel. We would appreciate you subscribing. And Cajun Reseller says, can't beat free.
That is true.
I agree 100%. And make sure you do subscribe to the Young Entrepreneur Jason on there. I think we got you over 200 subscribers.
Yeah.
If we can get them to some more, that would be great.
I got one more question.
Thank you so
You
much.
got a question for him? I got one more question after you got a
Okay,
question.
mine's just a kind of a
hit
good
me.
one. Have you got one of those Popeyes chicken sandwiches yet? It came out today. They came back out with it. Yeah,
I heard
today
there
was
was
the day.
a promotion on the internet, but I haven't actually gone to see it or to taste
I had
it.
one today, and it's fantastic.
Is it
Yes.
1
it's
out of
worth
10,
it.
Dustin? What would you
A 10.
give it?
I'll give it a
It's
10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gives
That's
it a
saying
10.
something too.
For sure. Reseller King actually has a question, so we want to answer his question. How many times do you go sourcing a week, Jason?
I aim to go source at least once a week, or at least one weekend, or every weekend. But I've also made the deal to myself that I will not go sourcing until everything is listed every time. So if I go sourcing on a Saturday and I get a bunch of stuff, and by next Saturday I don't have everything listed, I can't go unless I list everything that morning. But I can't go sourcing until everything is listed.
That's awesome. That's good.
Now, will you start sourcing more when you're 16, able to go out, driving on your own, stuff like that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to take advantage of that, definitely.
For
For sure.
And it's nice because I have a Goodwill like a mile away from my house.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, just almost walking distance, really.
Almost walking distance. You
Yeah.
can take your I'm trying to think of a bike brand. Your Huffy,
The Schwinn.
the Schwinn, your bicycle, and get down there for sure.
Yeah.
So thrift store Thrift Beast says good call, no death pile. I've scratched calling it a death pile, and I'm calling it your inventory reserve. That's what I'm calling it now.
I like it.
So
That is awesome.
I'm starting to get a small one. I got
a small one.
Yeah,
I got a big one. Death pile, that is. Anyways, so great, no death piles. And Cajun Reseller says those chicken sandwiches are the bomb.
Yes,
He
they
loves
are.
them. Retirement pile.
You know how much the wrapper sold for?
The wrapper
For the Popeyes chicken sandwich?
on eBay?
Yeah, like $8.
What are you gonna do with a wrapper? Lick it? Smell it?
It's sold for $8. So if you can get some wrappers,
Maybe it's a brag to say that they've had one.
Yeah, oh, that's ridiculous. So our last question of the night, Jason, is that what are your goals that you want to achieve this year reselling, business-wise and personally, that you may have? I know that one of the things in your Instagram bio that says that you are a black belt in Taekwondo. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
And that's amazing because I'm actually taking a martial arts class right now. I am a brown belt in Krav Maga. So one of my personal goals is that I want to eventually be a black belt in that.
Okay.
So I don't know what some of your personal goals are and what are some of your business goals this year for reselling.
Okay, so my business goal, I made a goal to have my 60-day total on Instagram when you open it up on your phone, 10,000 by March of next year. And then another goal I have is actually for Instagram and YouTube. I want my Instagram follower count to be 1,000 by the end of the year, which I'm actually very close. So it'll definitely happen earlier than that. I'm at about 970.
970?
Yep.
That's awesome. So we'll definitely, I think I put your Instagram down there. So you guys make sure you follow Jason on Instagram so we can get him to that 1,000 or 1,000 Instagram followers.
And then my other goal was to get to 200, but now I need to think of a new goal. So
500.
500.
Make it 500.
500 by March.
There you go. There you go. Those are great goals. I'm glad, Jason, we're glad that you came on. We're glad that I'm excited to see that there's a young person that's taking advantage of eBay and all the technology that we have. And just thank you, dude. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for your parents for raising a great young man to know to do this. And anything else that you may want to say to the people? Any kind of encouragement or any tips and pointers there, Jason?
Always look at the sold listings and don't be afraid to ask for a price reduction.
There you go.
Stay humble.
Yep,
that's awesome. Tiffany says, one of my sayings that I like to say all the time is that closed mouths don't get fed.
Yep.
So always ask. You never know, right? Ask. The worst thing they can do is say no. So thank you guys. Tiffany says this was an awesome show. Cajun Reseller says enjoyed it, guys. Thank you. Smash that like button.
Smash.
And they say great show, gentlemen. Have a great night. I appreciate you guys all the time. We love each and every one of our subscribers. The people that stop by, take some time out of their day to stop by and hang out with us on these live streams. So thank you guys. And actually wasn't able to drop a video yesterday. Wasn't able to. But after this live stream, I think I'm gonna go ahead and drop it.
You gonna go ahead and drop it?
We're gonna go ahead and drop it.
Okay.
I was gonna plan on doing it tomorrow, but we're gonna drop it tonight, right after this live stream.
Okay.
So guys, make sure to jump on our YouTube channel and check out our new video. So
sweet.
My name is Ray.
My name is Dustin.
I'm Jason.
And we'll catch you guys on the flip side. See y'all. Peace.